You excited to make some choices on your on these lists? I know you don't like these.
Oh, they get me so anxious. Putting these kind of things just into video that lasts forever, it freaks me out. You know?
I know. It's good.
They're
for you,
gonna come back to get me some. They're gonna come back to get me somehow, and I don't know how, and I'm scared, and it's just.
Well, think of it this way, dude. We can always make updated versions of these if you really want to make some changes.
Yeah. All right. So this it really came up because we were watching the new Baker video, and Tyson starts his part with this insane line where he connects these two spots that I have skated both spots and totally forgot they're even across the street from each other. Back nose blunt fakies a ledge, goes across, and then skates another thing. And it's debatable whether it is what we want to call it, but would you call this a journey line?
In my opinion, not quite.
Okay.
We'll talk about because the previous Baker video, who was it who did that journey line? Cater.
Yeah, Cater.
Cater does kind of his version of a journey line that people were talking about right after it came out. And again, I've always been a fan of these long lines. But a journey line is not just a long line. So should we kind of define it?
Well, this is your term. This is your thing.
Yeah.
I want to hear you define it. Yes.
Okay.
What is a journey line?
A journey, when you're taking a journey, there's always a destination, right? Okay. So the destination is a big part of what a journey line is. So in my mind, it's a line, it's a long line that has more than two tricks. It's a significant distance, but also the destination is usually a banger, whether it's a handrail or a big stair set. There's got to be a destination. There's not just a final trick and you keep going. Like there's a banger at the end of the line. Okay. So that I don't know if that's
and
clear
along
enough.
The way there's a journey.
And along the way there's a journey.
You take some twists, you take some turns, you hit some ledges, you skate some stairs. Something happens, right?
Yeah, you go from one spot to another. You kind of go down a windy sidewalk. It's like, whoa, where's he going? Bam, banger. Okay. That type of thing.
All right. Because, there can be a lot of lines with a big trick at the end that are just straight and boring. But I think what you need is a little bit of a twisty path.
You do. I agree. So the journey, there's a destination, but also the journey has to be interesting, surprising, interesting.
Okay.
So it's the whole
parameters. I like that.
It's the whole package. You got to have the whole package.
Okay. So if we're going to do a top three, and I would argue,
you want to add to the definition?
No, I don't want to add to the definition. I'm just not sure that Caters qualifies.
That's true. That's a good point.
I just think he nollie crooks a ledge and then makes it to a bench in a schoolyard. It doesn't feel like the bench that he back nose blunts is the destination,
right?
That is needed in a journey line. Just like Tyson's ledge that he hits and then he just keeps cruising isn't like a destination because you can just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Cater, the journey was kind of interesting, right? But then the destination wasn't quite dramatic enough for it to be on my list, at least. It stood out, but not like top three standout.
Yeah. And so, it's both of those are Baker guys. I feel like Baker guys are known for their journey lines. And so I'm going to start with my top three, which I have a feeling is on your list too. And that's Figgy with his journey line in
Figgy's your number three?
Yeah.
Damn, he was my number three as well.
Damn. Okay, cool.
So we're talking Figgy in Stay Gold, right?
Yep.
He does.
It's like an apartment complex.
Uh-huh.
It's on a hill.
Yep.
There's a flat bar, he tail slides. I think he does a switchback heel.
Yep.
And then it's like, where the fuck is he going? And he nose grinds like this big ass rail.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it has all the ingredients of a journey line. He's going fast. He's kind of going from one spot to the next, and on the journey, he's zigzagging through this weird apartment complex, and then bam, banger at the end. Yeah, that's a good one. That was my number 3 too. What was your number 2?
You go number 2. I said number 3. You go with your number 2 first.
Number 2 for me, Antoine, and Antoine's opening line in Baker 3.
Another Baker, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they got it down. So he does switch 180 over kind of a little flat bar. Then he's zigzagging down this like handicap ramp, does an amazing tray flip, and then finishes it off with, I think it's a heel flip over, is it 13, 14 stairs?
Big ass set. Yeah.
Big ass set. And this, I went to a premiere for this video. And this was the first time I had ever seen Antoine skate. So the line is sick, but this was also like my introduction and a lot of people's introduction to Antoine, like their first time seeing him ever. So I think that had it carry extra weight.
Yeah. I think that tray flip and the way the beat landed when he did that set his career in motion.
Totally.
More than any other like single flat ground trick
in
the history of skating.
Yeah.
It just did it.
That was definitely his I've arrived moment.
I think that line was a little bit too much of a standard line to be considered a journey line, but I'm going to give it to you because it had that impact.
It has the ingredients.
Move a little bit. It has the ingredients.
It has the ingredients.
Quite as journey filled as I would want to see, but you know what? Well, I'll let you have it.
Thanks for letting it slide.
Yeah, so for me, my number 2 is Josh Casper in Trilogy.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to rewatch that.
You're going to have to, but it is definitely a journey line. It's at it ends at the Carlsbad Gap with a big ass heel flip. But
another heel flip for an ender.
Oh, true. Yeah. But he takes a path that like is the whole school. And I think Jeremy Ray does the same thing. So he might have been biting Jeremy Ray. I think Jeremy Ray's was in like Plan B video or something. But I hadn't seen that Plan B video. I still don't, before I saw Trilogy. So it left the impression of me. And I had a guilty pleasure love for that Josh Casper part.
It was pretty good.
Benihana's. He tray flipped Carlsbad, dude. Like, you can't hate on that. Yeah,
it was.
In a video filled with ledges, he's just doing these huge hammers, and I think he only does like 2 or 3 tricks in the line, but it is long.
I'll have to
takes you all the way.
I'm interested to rewatch that. That sounds like a good one.
It's good. Yeah.
All right, what was your number 1?
So my number 1. You go with your number 1, or do you want to build the hype for yours?
I'll go. I can say mine. And I want to start off by saying I didn't choose this because he's one of my good friends. And
oh shit!
You know what's coming. Like this is truly my favorite journey line, and I probably watch this video part once a month just to see this line because it's unlike Antoine's journey line. Being the first part or the first tricks of his video part, this is the last trick, or ends up being the last trick. Sibo's journey line in Novia that ends with a nollie down how many stairs? 14, 15?
14, yeah.
That ends with a nollie down 14 stairs in downtown LA at a spot where the bus level is extremely high. Yep. Top journey line of all time. I love this line. I get
That's crazy. Kyle,
I get goosebumps. I get goosebumps watching it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're just trying to butter me up, dude, because that was I filmed it.
You filmed it. You filmed it, and if I remember correctly,
so I appreciate that.
You really kept on Sibo to make sure he got that line right, or was he the biggest? Was he just as motivated?
He was super motivated. It was his idea. I definitely wanted it to happen, and it would be these like desperate missions where we would go all the way out from West LA to downtown just to try it. And you only get like a few tries, and then you're sort of burnt. And the thing that I had to wrangle in is like he really wanted to like nollie flip it or switch flip it or do the craziest trick at the end, but
Uh-huh.
just ending with a big nollie I thought was good enough.
So good. And one of the other ingredients that I didn't mention about a good journey line is the push. Like Sibo does like 12, I should have counted. Sibo does 12 really hard pushes to get to his final destination. And I love that about his line, because if you do 12 big pushes, there better be a fucking gnarly hammer at the end of that, at the end of that. Yeah. And he doesn't disappoint. So that was
what's exciting is
by kind of a landslide, that was my number one.
That's flattering. But what you're only a few months away from seeing another journey line from Sibo.
Ooh, I can't wait.
That is gonna blow your mind. He gave me a sneak peek when I was in Portland. It's the most insane thing ever.
I can't wait.
If you're in the market for a good journey line.
Can't wait. Good. See, we're going to have to update the list once, once more stuff comes out.
Yeah. So my number one is, once again, another Baker dude.
Damn.
The Baker dude.
Oh, I think I know what's coming. Uh-huh.
Yep. Andrew Reynolds in, that one's This Is Skateboarding, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
In Arizona. Yeah.
Yep.
Ends with the kickflip you don't see, but you know it happened. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like not my favorite pants era of Andrew Reynolds, but the tricks and just knowing he was building up to jump down this 15 stair. And I know that hallway well because I spent probably 5 separate suffer missions trying to jump down that 15 stairs, so I can only imagine there's like the anticipation of just boom. It's just so cool. Love it.
And what's extra impressive about that one is, as you know from battling that stair set, how quickly your legs go, and to finish a journey line with that gnarly of a stair set. I mean,
seriously,
it's
because when you're kind of just doing little tricks, flat ground tricks, ledge tricks, he does a manual and a hubba. Anyway, you're to then gear up to take that impact is insane.
Yeah, that was a gnarly one. Cool. Even though he does a little bit of scratching on his manual.
Yeah, we'll let it slide.
I'm not picky about that shit, but that was a classic line.
Yeah. All
right, that's a good one.
Any quick honorable mentions?
Yeah. There was definitely some honorable mentions. Tom Penny, the OG line, the OG downhill line that finishes with a back tail. I thought about putting that one in there. Let me see, what other ones come to mind?
Jamie Thomas in Welcome to Hell.
Jamie Thomas.
Skating through the Brooklyn banks.
Yeah, I almost put Danny Renaud's video part, or journey line, that kind of downhill one. I think it's in Delaware somewhere, where he finishes with like a nollie 180. I thought that was an honorable mention. Costin's intro line.
Oh yeah,
and had almost had all the ingredients. He was just using the whole schoolyard. Oddly enough, finishes with a back nose blunt, just like Cater. Not quite strong enough of an ender, but that's an honorable mention. Jason Dill in Photosynthesis. Remember, he does that famous line where he runs down the stairs, and that I thought about putting that one in there. So those are some standout ones that didn't quite make the list. Any other honorable mentions for you?
Dill was the one I was gonna say.
That's a good one.
It's just because you don't know where he's going. I love when there's just a suspense. Or like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
But I feel like what's lacking in Dill's is that it's just an ollie. It's like short distance, short run up. I mean, it's so sick, but I don't know. It's like, it seems like the harder stuff was in the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. And then kind of with Costin, bunch of gnarly shit, but the last trick just wasn't quite dramatic enough. So
I gotta give a shout out though to Mark Suchu, because he does some cool journey lines, or like he does a lot of lines where just spots are connected in ways that you don't know unless you skate the spot. Like in his Spitfire part, he does a full cab into the courthouse and then crosses the street and then knows once
that's right.
the blubba. Like that's
right.
really insane because you just have to coordinate so much with traffic and movement, and there are two hammers. He does a flat ground trick in the middle of the street. He's done a lot of lines like that where you're just like, where the hell is he going?
Like connecting two spots in one line. That should be like a whole other category.
Yeah.
That's the next list.
Cool. All right, well, it's fitting that we're talking about all these Baker guys and journey lines because we have Neen Williams here of the, Baker family.
Baker family OG.
Yep, and I'm sure he has an epic journey line somewhere in there in one of those parts.
I'm sure he does, and it probably ends with an amazing heel flip.
Yep. So sorry if we left that one out, Neen, but so stoked to have him on the podcast. Once again, this is just a snippet of our longer conversation with him that you can listen to wherever we get our podcasts. But Neen's the man, and it's a great conversation. It's super interesting listening to everything he has going on besides skating, which is a whole lot. And yeah, appreciate everyone out there who subscribes and supports.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite interviews. So I'm excited for the YouTubers to give it a check out. So let's get to it.
Yeah.
If you're a skater, then you know how often skateboarding injuries occur. Old Friends Fitness is run by skaters, for skaters, and is the online resource with all the content you need to stay healthy on a skateboard. Old Friends Fitness offers evidence-based information on the most common injuries that skaters face, including detailed exercise videos as well as in-depth podcasts, all designed to arm you with knowledge and keep you as strong and as healthy on a skateboard as possible.
Well, dude, you've been I rank you as like up there with Tony Hawk as like skaters.
No way.
Like I can't think of anyone more than you really, like of our generation of skaters who's got more going on, and it's so inspiring. But I don't even understand how you do it. Like I'm trying to think of the list. You got like,
It's true, dude. You wear a lot of different hats.
dude, you got your
Thanks,
Spices company, you got all the brand partnerships you do, you got like your social and YouTube channels pumping out like
Yeah, man.
cooking and workout, and like
Staying busy.
dude, and your skate parts are, it's not like your skating is still like just as strong as it's ever been.
Thanks, man.
And then you got this coaching app, which I really want to get into because I'm so curious. Like ever since you launched it, Kyle and I have been talking about it, like on the hype of like, should we do this, dude? Should we sign up? Like I want to know what this is like, dude.
You should jump in, man. Yeah, that'll be rad.
But can you tell us about that? Like how it started and how it works? Because I'm super curious. It's like in my opinion, like the future of where things are going. And it's so cool you got something.
Hell yeah, thank you. Well, first off, thanks so much. I mean, I'm not as busy as Tony Hawk, but I definitely would love to be someday, but yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I got to keep myself busy, and as being like, with skating and everything, it's like you are in charge of how well you do in life. So the more you work, the more you're going to get out of it. And that's kind of how I look at it, So it's like I keep myself busy. I stay grinding just so I could keep, achieving bigger and better things, So that's what drives me for all of this. So when I had that whole life switch like 7 years ago and I quit drinking alcohol and all that stuff, and I tore my ACL, and I was like, physical therapy to bring it back. That was like the catalyst that switched me over. It was like I had to make a decision to like continue my old ways and like keep partying and fucking throwing away my career, or like clean it up and like start moving towards like longevity and trying to get everything out of my career that I could at that point. And that's what clicked in my head. And I started focusing on nutrition, fitness, and all of that stuff. So what ended up happening is I got connected with Onnit, and through Onnit, I got like kettlebell certifications, steel mace certifications, and I started like
Neen, sorry to interrupt you. Can you explain a lot of our listeners, I don't think will be aware. Can you explain what Onnit is? What type of company that is?
and for me too, because I'm a little like not really.
For Walker too.
Yeah, so on its a total human optimization company, it's basically all about like supplements and working out, like teaching people the right way to use certain tools and stuff. So that's where you get your certifications. They do the On It 6 program, which is also like an online program where they help people reach their goals. You know, like On It is just like it's a lifestyle thing, and it's about like helping you be the best that you can be and optimize like anything you want in life, you know, longevity, your performance, all of that. So they do everything, you know. They're a pretty sick company, you know, and they back everybody, you know. They back from skaters, bikers to like MMA fighters, swimmers, like everything, you know, all across the board. So yeah, I mean, when I got connected with them, it kind of like helped boost me into this whole new world of like health and wellness and fitness, you know, and I got to pick up the education, you know, the correct education of how to like use these pieces of equipment, but also teach people how to use them as well. So what happened was like years of this, you know, years of practice, because obviously you don't just get it like that. Years of practice and reading and learning, asking questions to people that are like super specialized in this category, and just like learning after them. You know, I started to get to a certain point where I was able to, you know, teach it myself, you know. And then I met my friend Rain. So my friend Rain, he used to work at this gym in LA that we all used to work at, the Dog Pound. And he was like, he specialized in athletic training. So he would put me through like athletic training. And at this time, it's like I worked out, but I didn't know what to do correctly for skateboarding. You know, I did a lot of strength training. I'd do some cardio here and there, but I didn't know what I was doing really, you know, like, and then when I met him, he taught me, you know, how to train like an athlete. So he like completely switched my idea of working out into training like an athlete, you know? So learning that has like taught me so much about, you know, how training works with skateboarding and how it can, you know, prolong your career, you know, help you with longevity, help you like enhance your pop, your speed, like how fast your CNS can spark to like, you know, like protect you from injury, for like, you know, like how to warm things up properly and stuff. So like I got super into that and like continued to learn on that. And then an opportunity arose out of that, and we were asked to join this app. The app was called Ladder Teams, and they wanted us to team up together since I'm a pro athlete. He's like specializes in athlete training and has trained me, and he's like super knowledgeable, like to put us together to like create our own programming for like the masses, you know?
Yeah.
So what we do is we program all the same workouts that we do ourselves. So this is like proven stuff to work, because this is the stuff that I do. This is the stuff that he does. And we give it to like our whole team. So it's like, it's all like functional workouts, like just to build those, like strengthen your type 1, strengthen your type 2 muscle fibers. So you're not only like strengthening your muscles, but you're also working on those fast twitch muscle fibers. We put you through like stamina endurance workouts, conditioning. So you're like, it's not like you're just bodybuilding. You're like, right, working on like speed, jumps, like swings, explosive power, you know? So it's like it's like skating, you know, you never know what you're going to get. So it relates super well. And it's been really awesome to do that. And we've been doing it for about a year now, and it's been going off, you know, like our team's super hyped, and they're seeing like tons of benefits because it's been a year, and we've had a lot of those people for a year. And it just keeps growing each month, you know?
So cool.
So how does it work? Like if somebody wanted to start like today, You know, do they get like thrown into the lion's den, or can you like start at a certain level and kind of progress through the training program? How's it typically work?
So it's an app, and we program 6 to 7 workouts a week. So when you sign up, you'll get 7 days for free. Depending if we do 6 or 7 workouts, it's all on whatever week it is. So we're there. You could connect to us one-to-one at any time. People could send us messages. We'll send them back video messages. We'll show them form. I could film with my own phone and like put it slow-mo and like really teach them and break each movement down for them. And also, so it's an app. You basically press play, and then a video of like myself or my friend Rain pop up, whoever's leading that particular session, and we'll walk you through the workout really fast and tell you like, we're only gonna go like, we're gonna focus on lighter weight, moving the bar fast, you know, focusing on form and all that. Just kind of give you the rundown, and then when it starts, what it does is it shows you the each movement, a video of each movement as you're doing the movement. Plus, every single week, me and my friend Rain, we sit down and we record voice overs for every single movement, for every single workout. So you get like fresh voiceovers for every movement that you're doing, where we're like just telling you, you know, brace your core, lock your lats back, you know, like just everything, like making sure everything is correct and just giving you those cues as you do the workout so you know what to focus on.
So as you're doing the exercise, you're hearing voiceover of verbal cues like keep your butt down and back, you know, hinge at the hips, stuff like that. Nice. Cool.
Yeah, just like all your videos that you post, you know, it's just like the same thing. It's like it's giving you all those cues on the first, basically like the first round. It's giving you all those cues, and then let's say there's 3 rounds in that block, you know, we'll probably come back randomly just to check up on you, like make sure you're breathing, you know, like keep that core brace, you know, but basically like that's how it goes. And it's really cool. It's the most like interactive app, if you ask me, like just the way it goes. And whoever I like, I'll send it to friends to try it out, and they're just like, oh, this is insane. It's like you're in my ear telling me the whole time, you know. And
so cool.
Yeah, they got a cool system going.
It seems like on the outside looking in, it's these are workouts that you can do if you have the equipment. You can do them at the gym, but you can also do them with kind of minimal amounts of equipment, which seems really helpful for skaters if they're going to be involved in something like this.
No, yes, exactly. That's kind of how we made it. We also give modifications for everything. So if it's let's say it's a trap bar deadlift, we could be like, yo, you could use 2 kettlebells for this. If you don't have 2 kettlebells, you can use 1 kettlebell, you use dumbbells, or you could use bands, you know, and we'll tell you how to do each movement. So it's like we've solved for like all of those things. So you can do it with body weight, you can do it with bands, or like you only have 1 20-pound dumbbell, like here you go. Or like, remember when like the pandemic started and then we would do like bags of like a backpack of books or something, you know? Or like a gallon of water. Like it's like there's always ways you can do it, you know?
Good. So every excuse that Walker has to not work hard, you have an answer for, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Pretty
like,
much.
Oh man.
At this point, I'm so used to it, like so used to it that I have modifications for anything. Like you can just throw it at me. I'm like, oh, you can use this.
That's awesome.
And do the videos live like, so if you put out 6 or 7 videos in a week, do they live as like a massive library, or is it like a refreshed thing? Like, could you go back 6 months and see what you did one week, or are you just like refreshing it?
So in the program itself, for us coaches that build the workouts, we can go back and see them. If someone wants a workout from 2 weeks ago, we could send them the link and they could have that workout. But the programming keeps going. So what we do, which is pretty awesome, is as we're going through like a season, we put our team through the season as well. So right now we're in like a maintaining season. So we're doing like a lot of full body workouts and also like some conditioning days as well. So next, I think it's in like a month or a month and a half, we'll be doing like a bulking season. So like everything's gonna change, and we're gonna like hook them up with like, all right, these are some guidelines of how to set up your diet plan, you know, and you obviously set it up yourself, but we're gonna give you some guidelines of like how we do it, and then we're going to change the programming up for bulking, and then after that will be shredding, you know. So we're always like changing it as we change it ourselves, you know. So it kind of keeps you on the toes, and you get to, it's like a fun kind of thing where we all could work together, you know, because we're doing it with you at the same time, so we could all talk about the same thing and you know, show our progress, talk about progress, and see what other people are doing and try that as well.
That's so cool.
I love it. And how much are you thinking, or I guess I should ask it to you this way. What type of clientele is typically doing this program? Is it a lot of skaters, or is it just all walks of life, or what have you noticed?
Yeah, we have a mix. We have a lot of skaters in there. I have some homies from like way back in the day from Chicago that I grew up skating with and stuff are in there. There's everything, like from fathers to mothers to, you know, just like some kids are in there. It all depends, man. It's really just a big mix of people from all walks of life, you know, and just our whole thing is longevity, you know, and just like feel good, look good, longevity. So it's like, that's kind of like our whole motto. So it's like anyone can do it, you know, and we're there to help everyone through the process as well. Like any question, anything on form, like we'll pop up and help you out real quick, you know?
Yeah. I love it. What I love about it is you got a lot of support from all the coaches and trainers, but I think the structure is helpful too. I think a lot of skaters want to be more active and want to exercise and want to work out, but the structure is sometimes hard to find. But when you have it, it really helps.
Yeah, and then there's like so it's like social media kind of. So it's like almost like its own IG or something. We have like a huge community chat where like everyone's in there talking and like, you know, rating the workouts, talking about each workout, workout and stuff. So it's like all of, like, what's really cool is like every morning there's a few of our guys are in there, teammates, they're just in there, they just did the workout, so they give the review for the rest of the team. So it's like sick. They're like, my arms are on fire and blah, you know, like you're just like, I feel like I got hit by a train. You're like, damn, like get ready for this one, like choose your weight wisely, listen to the coaches, you know.
That's so cool. And is it right now still just the two of you as coaches, or have you brought anyone else into the fold a little bit?
So ladder teams, there's like about 5 different programs you could choose from. Each program with its own like specific goal. So ours is like, you know, longevity, lifestyle, and performance enhancing, you know, that's kind of like our program called Training Day. Then there's like 4 other programs with other coaches that do those ones. So you could kind of pick and choose which program you want to do. But in the beginning, I believe you could jump around and try like a workout from each person. Yeah. But then you have to kind of like, all right, like I'm going to be with this program or whatever, you know.
That's cool.
But see, this is where I'm tripping on you, Neen. Like that, what you described just sounds like a full-time job. Like how do you get into anything else? Like even just going skating could feel like, oh shit, I really have to book this. And that's just one of so many things you got going on. So props to you, man. I am
thanks, man.
Continually just amazed.
Yeah, it's all just structuring it out, you know, and having your priorities. Yeah. I mean, I put a lot of time and effort into my training and programming, you know, and like I said, it's the stuff that I do as well. So it's like, that's what like kind of helps me with that. It's like, I already do all this stuff. So it's like, kind of like, here you go, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But the main days that I like to skate is Saturday and Sunday. So I make sure Saturday and Sunday, 24 hours a day, those are my skate days, you know?
Nice.
Weekdays, I don't really care as much because it's like you just get kicked out most of the time.
Right.
And you could skate a park and kind of dust off the skills a little bit. But it's like, I like to go to a park for like an hour or 2. I'm not like when I used to be a kid and I would spend 8 hours at a park.
Right.
It's like, I'm just going to be blown out for like 3-4 days after that. Like I have to choose my battles wisely, you know, nowadays. So it all fits in perfectly, but I don't have, like, I'm busy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's to the T busy, you know?
Dude, it's awesome though. I love it.
From a workout and skating point of view, how challenging was it, especially earlier on when you were taking your fitness more seriously? How challenging was it to train how you needed to train, but also have enough recovery time to skate how you wanted to skate? And how do you kind of parallel the two? Because that's a lot. Walker, you talk about this all the time. I want to work out. I want to, start doing some strengthening exercises, but I'm in a constant state of soreness after sessions, and I don't know like how I would do it, So what do you?
Yeah, like especially because I still want to get it the same way you do, which is like if there's a good 12 stair, if there's a good 10 stair, I want to huck, and like
I see you.
if I really do huck, like I'm dusted for a few days, like. And so that's, I mean, at least one of many excuses I give Kyle when he tries to get me on strengthening programs.
That's a great question, and it took me a while to figure that out. Basically, science experiments on myself to figure out how it works best. And, I have 7+ years of doing this that I figured it out, Basically, you need to structure out your days, figure out your priorities. Your priority obviously is skating, so it's like skating is your priority. So that's at the top. Your training it's for your benefits. You want to get your benefits from training to keep you skating good, So what happens is I normally set up my days where it's like I'll skate first and then I'll train after, like train sometime like later on in the day. And I found that, I can always have like a super hard session, jump down a 12, 13, whatever, rail, ledges all day. And I could still train hard later on that night, but I can't train hard first in the morning and then skate hard after that because my legs will be way too fatigued, So I could jump down a 12 in the morning and then like later on at night, I could still deadlift whatever I want to deadlift, squat whatever I want to squat, because it's like it's like a controlled movement. Whereas like skating is so wild and sporadic, and you need your CNS to be like snapping, pop, pop, pop. Your central nervous system has to be fired up to skate. But when I'm lifting, it's like I don't really need, unless I'm working on like a power day, it's like I don't really need that CNS to be like firing. It's like I just need to focus on like the muscle fibers and the form and the movement, So that's kind of like a big thing that I've learned over time, how to structure out my days and have my priorities lined up. And then some days it's like, if I'm not going to skate that day, like I'll train legs in the morning and just chill, like it kind of depends, you kind of have to, I know as a skater, like we never really plan anything or structure anything, or like that's kind of how I started. I never structured anything, but as time went on and being with my lady Jess, she taught me how to structure and plan. So I plan out my days ahead of time, so I already know what I'm going to get into. So it's like easier to structure out like how to make it work. And then also one other thing is just timing of your nutrition,
Right.
Like knowing how to recover from your training session, from your skate session. Like the more you work on like having like the timing of your nutrition, like fruit juice, smoothie, protein shakes, glutamine, stuff like that, BCAAs right after you skate or you train, like you'll be a lot less sore the next day. And foam rolling, stretching, like there's so much to it, but as you implement all those pieces, it all fits together, It sounds like a lot, but it all fits together perfectly. It just takes some practice, and some time, really.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been hyped on the branched chain amino acid program.
It's so good.
Like always having like one of those big things in my trunk. And sometimes I'll forget, like it'll be like maybe even expired. I don't know if those things expire, but I'll discover it after I've like been jumping. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I can take them right now.
So good.
I felt like that one is like always helped.
Those are gnarly. They give you like endless energy sometimes. Like, I'll feel like a kid. Like, what's in this stuff?
But do you find that like these after the session workouts, do they help a little bit with your recovery too? I mean, I don't really understand how that works, but is there sort of like a balancing act that happens? Like,
I've heard some talk about, if you're sore, instead of like just sitting around and like icing yourself and stuff, like working through the soreness actually helps the healing process. So, I mean, I'm not completely positive on that,
Right.
but I feel like it helps. You know what I mean? Like if you keep your body moving, I used to call it, we'd call it like zero tolerance. Like the more you jump downstairs, even through like your soreness, your legs kind of become like they become one with the soreness, and then you never get sore. Like you could just keep jumping every single day, you know?
Yeah. I was going to ask if that was in the gym or if that was on the session, the zero tolerance club. Sounds more like a skate approach. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a skate thing. Like the skate through the soreness, like a little bit, like even if you're sore, obviously you modify like how gnarly you're gonna skate or how many times you're gonna jump down the set of stairs, but what you still jump down the set of stairs and like you'll still heel flip them, you'll still ollie them, and you'll be like, all right, cool, I did that at least. And then the next day you're a lot less sore than you were before.
Yeah.
And your legs could take more impact.
And now you also said that earlier on when you're just kind of starting out as far as, working out and stuff like that, you were doing, a lot of strength training, but it wasn't until you started working with, what's your buddy's name?
Rain, yeah.
Where he trained you like an athlete that you really started to notice the difference in your performance. What's the difference between what did he add in to your program that really helped with your skating?
So what I was doing at first was a lot of bodybuilding. So I was just sitting there. I didn't know the difference between like stimulating my muscles and annihilating my muscles. It's kind of like where everyone is before they learn about training. They're like, oh, you work out, like you must be like sitting there doing like 5 sets of 20 curls. You know what I mean? So I was just sitting there because I worked out at the commercial gym, and all my friends at the commercial gym, they did shows for bodybuilding. So they taught me how to bodybuild. So I was just like, oh, like I'm just building strength, building muscle. So I would just do like bodybuilding workouts where you're just like, you're doing splits of like chest and back, chest and tris, back and biceps, legs. So you're mainly just sitting there and you're just beating up your muscles until they're fatigued, you're like annihilating your muscles so then you could build more muscle on top of muscle. And your focus isn't really power, endurance, stamina, it's just building muscle. So a lot of people end up, you kind of lose your mobility and everything when you do that, unless you stay up on your stretching.
If you bulk up too much.
Yeah. So basically when I started training with Rain, he taught me how to train like an athlete, where you train one strength movement, let's say a deadlift, and then you mix that deadlift up with like a banded swing. So now you're training strength, and then you're training power and explosiveness, So you do a couple sets of that without annihilating. You're not going to your PR, you're not doing any of that. You're just like, you're at like, 70-80% of your max, and you're just doing 3. That's it. Cutting off at 3 because you want to move that bar fast. And then you're doing some just like 5 swings or 5 jumps, vertical jumps, squat jumps, whatever it is. So the difference between it is like, instead of annihilating yourself, you're just stimulating your muscles and also working both types of muscle fibers, like you're working the speed ones, you're working the strength ones. So your body is like, it's fast. It's like skating, and that was something that opened my eyes, and I was like, oh, this is how I should have been training the whole time. Like I'm working on sprints, working on like jumping over stuff, jumping up high, band assisted jumps, squat jumps. And it's like that stuff relates most to skateboarding.
Yeah.
Had Rain ever worked with a skater before, or like a skater like you who was really trying to, maximize potential or something?
No, he has a rugby background, so that's just pure power. That's awesome. Beast,
yeah.
So he's just like 2+, and he's literally like the fastest, sketchiest dude in the world. You know what I mean? But he never trained a skateboarder, but he trained like NFL players and baseball players, basketball players, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, in a sense, we all kind of do the same kind of stuff besides fighting with the concrete, you know, but
Right.
in like an athlete sense, we all kind of need the same kind of training, you know.
Yeah. So that must have been cool for him.
Oh, he was stoked because
Yeah,
obviously being a skater, it's like I could push myself like so far. And like everyone at that gym they were all so stoked if they had me to train that day because like they know like they could put me through the ringer and I'll like still be smiling.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, oh, come on, what else? Let's go, you know. But then obviously he taught me how to you know, like how to do it, you know.
And so how is it when you're dealing with injuries? Like, and I know you mentioned you got some meniscus stuff going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear how first of all, like what's been going on with your knees, because we're doing a lot of focus on the knees.
Yeah.
And now with the Old Friends Fitness, we got an ACL program coming, an MCL one.
dope.
We just did meniscus.
No way.
So I'd love to hear like what your journey has been through and how you still A, skate, and B, do everything you're doing with the training.
So obviously the training has kept me on my board, but I've had 2 ACL surgeries, one in each leg. When I did my first ACL, this was I think I was like 20 or 21. I did my first ACL, and they think that I tore my meniscus at the same time, but the doctor didn't notice that. So he just repaired the ACL, and I just kind of skated through that, did the recovery, skated through it at the end, got the reconstruction, everything. And what happened is like later on down the line, because I had a meniscus tear and they didn't know I had a meniscus tear, it just kind of kept deteriorating away, and I started getting like bone on bone action. So basically the training has helped me to avoid like pain, any pinching pain or anything, just staying up on my squats, keeping my legs strong, my hamstrings strong, glutes strong. All of that stuff has been helping me avoid pain in my meniscus. But every now and again, if I land wrong, just like a freak accident, land with a stiff leg or something random, it'll reawake like pain, like bone on bone pain. And then what I do usually is I found PRP shots. So like my friends over at Beach City Orthopedics in, Manhattan Beach. So like those are my guys, you know. I go over there and I found PRP shots, and PRP shots for some reason for me, they like take away the pain, and like it'll be pain free until I do something dumb again. You know what I mean? Like I'll be good for like 6-8 months until I land like off, and then it'll be like, oh, hey bud, you forgot about me? Here I am.
I'm back.
You know, but
Cool. So you do those like once a year or so, or you that's what you've been doing, and that's been helping?
yeah, I've been doing them like once a year, and they've been helping drastically. You know, I partially tore my patellar filming for the Death Wish video too, and I had to get a lot of PRP shots in the patellar too to help that heal.
Mm-hmm.
But like nowadays, it's like I can't complain. Everything is solid. You know, I'm stoked, and especially it's like I swear if I didn't do anything that I do, like I would not be able to skate at all. You know, like that's like what keeps my legs together. You know, at this point.
And what types of? I mean, I know you do a huge variety of movements in your workouts, but what have you found to be the most helpful in keeping that meniscus sort of sturdy? What type of movements, what types of exercises out of all the ones that you do?
Well, I feel like a lot of the like knees over toes stuff works for me. You know, I just built a little slant board, or a slant box, but I do a lot of like Zercher hold with the barbell. So I'm just holding it with my forearms and just like squatting down, knees over toes, with the heels elevated, you know, focusing on like building the quads and stuff, getting those things strong. Also, I like doing total leg extensions as well. like with a band behind your knee, and you just kind of extend your knee, because with the meniscus tear, you can't like fully straighten out your knee, so like those total leg extensions like help build those muscles to straighten out your knee, and like it makes it feel a lot better, relieves a lot of the pain. And then there's also that one stretch too, just where it's like where you like lean all the way back, you're on your knees and put your back on the ground.
The reverse Nordics?
Yeah, that one just opens up everything. You know what I mean? Like, and that helps with the pain too.
Yeah, that one's good because you're kind of strengthening and stretching at the same time. If it's the exercise that I think you're talking about. Yeah. Walker, have you heard of the knees over toes guy?
Oh no, I haven't.
Can you explain a little bit, Neen, of his kind of philosophy, his general philosophy?
I mean, I'm sure you know better than me, but I believe you could go ahead, because I'll probably butcher it.
Yeah, I mean, he just has actually, to be completely honest, I don't subscribe to his workout, so I don't know completely, but it's a lot of allowing the knees to go over the toes to build a more durable and strong knee.
Yeah, it's like putting yourself in those like vulnerable positions and like strengthening those vulnerable positions, like
instead of avoiding them.
Yeah, instead of avoiding them. So a lot of athletes, that's another thing I've learned, like our legs, we land with our legs every which way. So instead of only focusing on a single plane of like, put your weight in your heels, push your butt back, with the squat, it's like you need to experiment and hit different angles, because we're always landing in different angles. So you got to like mess around, like different stances, like different feet positionings, like strengthen yourself in all positions, because you never know what position you're going to land in. You can't just be strong here. You got to be strong every single position
in a variety of different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, Walker, man, I feel old because I'm old. I've been doing this long enough to see the different trends and in the PT world. When I was first starting out as a PT, we were taught to teach all of our squatting exercises to bias the hips. So butt back, don't let the knees go over the toes too much. Protect the knee by focusing the movement to the hips. But there's kind of been a shift to where, especially as skaters, I back it.
For athletes, yeah.
For athletes too,
sure.
We got to let the knee, expose the knee to some stress by letting the movements bias and stress out the knee. You got to ease into it. You got to be careful doing it, but instead of completely avoiding using the knee, feed into using the knee. And the knees over toe guy is the definition of that. I tell people the stuff I've seen of him is good. You just got to really ease into it.